Hey, what's up, comic book fans? Welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. And guys, you're with me, Mike Spider Slayer. And we're getting ready to do another comic book review. And today we're going to be talking about Superior Spider-Man, issue number 15. But before we jump into that, I just want to give you a brief update on what books I'll be reviewing on Dark Avenger Inc. this week. The first book will be Green Lantern, issue number 23, Batwing, issue 23, and Superior Foes, issue number 2. So those will be the books I'll be reviewing on Dark Avenger Inc. Look forward to that probably around Monday or Tuesday sometime. And also every Tuesday night, check out our live podcast on Dark Avenger Inc. at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also look forward to my countdown video each and every week around Monday or Tuesday, just counting down comics from my worst all the way to the best. So with that being said, let's just jump into Superior Spider-Man issue number 15. And what can I say? We got the Hobgoblin here on the cover with the new costume of Superior. I like the costume. I like how it's drawn. I dig the way out there spider legs. I love that exaggeration. Roberto Ramos is just classic for that. I like when Spider-Man goes into the exaggerative state. Known for past artists, Todd McFarlane has done that. Eric Larson has done that. Roberto Ramos is that same type of style. So I love the cover. The artwork inside the book is actually the same. Totally dig that as well. Here we got a cool page of Superior just sitting there pointing down, looking down at everybody, trying to clean up the city or whatnot. And here's a really cool page of Superior thinking, a lot of, Dr. Octopus style. And here's a pretty cool page too. So I really dig the art in this series. I do like Roberto Ramos' art in Superior Spider-Man. It's fun. So in this story, we get to see the Tinkerer. Okay, first thing first, you get to see the Tinkerer in here, and you get to see Phil Ulrich, who is the new Hobgoblin, who's actually paying the real Hobgoblin to use his name and to terrorize the city. And he's coming up short with money. Shadowland's gotten destroyed. Now he's got to somehow get some money, and he's got to get new weapons and things like that. And basically, Tinkerer, gives him a loan to get these weapons or whatnot. And the Hobgoblin has to earn his money, kind of like the way Peter Parker did way back in the Daily Bugle, by taking videos and things like that, which is interesting to see. But in this book, we see that everyone's trying to clean up after Shadowland, and we get to see Captain Wannabe, and we get to see Carly Cooper involved. So now you get to see the supporting cast, which we haven't seen, which I talked about in the last issue. We get to see the supporting cast involved in the whole issue. And Carly starts talking to Superior, and he's like, "What is it, Carly?" She goes, "I want to know how. Giant robots, henchmen, how are you doing all this?" She's trying to interrogate him. So she's trying to catch on to what's going on. He's like, "Well, it's paid for the city. Don't worry about it." And as soon as Carly gets a little bit distracted, Superior just bolts. He doesn't want to do anything where it has to do with Peter. He just bolts out of it. And we get to see a little bit here of Captain Wannabe as the Wrath. We get to see her right there. It reminds you who she actually is. She might be catching on. So Phil Ulrich's all getting all the publicity here about how he gets to capture everything that happened in Shadowland and this and that, and how he's taking on Spider-Man. And again, you get to see that backstory here about how he leased the Goblin's name, and he has to pay him, so he's got to do all these crazy things like rob banks and do all this crazy stuff. You get to see one panel here with Mary Jane, which was nice to see her, even if it is in only one page. And she's worried about Peter. She's like, "Peter hasn't even come around." She's like, "My club's destroyed. Like, what's going on?" Aunt May's in here, sitting there going, "I haven't seen Peter in weeks. He must be at school." And you get to see, we get to see Max Modell, who's wondering where Peter is because he's not showing up at the lawsuits. He's not showing up at school, and Anna Maria is sitting there wondering what's going on. And Peter's just like, you know what? I don't know what's happening. He's like, I'm giving my 100% being Spider-Man, but there's something missing. And the thing that's really missing in here is him actually being Peter Parker. He feels that he's giving himself 100%, but there's something missing, and he's not dedicating himself to being Peter Parker at all. And then in this issue also, you get to see a little bit of the Hobgoblin as a human, not in his costume, because you get to see him walk in here, and you don't see faces. There's two people, and you actually see him getting dressed. And you're like, oh man, what's that about? You know, it's like, who is this Green Goblin guy? So you get to see a little glimpse of that. But the story is that they talk about, what's it called, how anything with Goblin involved doesn't pick up on the Hobgoblin. So they said, turn off the tracers for now. Let's get the Hobgoblin caught. So right away when that happens, it's just like, it's like, boom, finds him, starts kicking his ass. They start doing this battle. He starts ripping apart his things. He starts going to town on him. Tries the sword. The sword fails. Phil automatically just sits there and just bails out, you know, just runs away. And the next thing you find out is at the end of this is Superior finds out the identity, and he calls him out. And he just sits there and he goes, people of New York, this is Spider-Man with the Avengers. I need your help. He goes, I need you to be my heroes. I need you to be my eyes. And then people are like, dude, it's on every channel. And then he goes, a fugitive is loose on our city. Please help me find him. He's the villain, called the Hobgoblin. And he goes, and he's also named as Phil Ulrich. And Phil sits there at the end and he's like, son of a bitch. And you're like, oh man, he got slapped in the face. And everyone is just looking at him like, oh my God, what the hell is going on in here? So he totally does the dickhead thing to do, and he calls him out on live TV. I mean, there's no way this guy's getting away with anything. I don't know how it's going to turn out. There's another part to this story, but it was so funny. I quite enjoyed it. I think they kind of threw in that supporting cast like I told you about, just to get it involved because they've been missing so much. And, you know, I'm not a fan of the Hobgoblin. So whenever he's in these issues, I'm kind of like, oh man, another Hobgoblin issue. Especially this Hobgoblin. I'm not a fan of this one. And at the end when they called him out, I'm like, dude, that is so funny. I'm like, that's classic. I love it. So this was great. And I'm hoping that, you know, Mary Jane and Carly Cooper, and you get the Wraith in there, and they're going to start digging deeper and following, you know, figuring out who this is, because you can see it's starting to scratch the surface a little bit. It's going to scratch, and eventually they're going to find out who this guy really is. So when that day comes, man, I'll be so happy. Oh man, it will be awesome. But I'm going to give this book a 4 out of 5. This was a fun read. I enjoyed it. The ending was tremendous. And if you guys are not picking up Superior right now, you know, it's a good story, guys. It's a great book. It really is. Just overlook the Peter Parker thing, and he'll be back one day. It's just a different twist for right now. So, guys, as always, thank you for watching Comic Book Corner 2.0. And until the next comic book review, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off, and I'll see you guys real soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.